Hey guys, it is me, Tanya, founder of the TNG Designs Group Limited. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Now, today's video, we're going to be talking about how to create a brand on social media. That part. So yes, so folks, make sure that you go ahead and stick around to the very end, because as always, I've got a super cool gift to be able to share with you. But before you do, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to my channel, because I want to make sure that you do not miss out on any videos that I go ahead and upload. So folks, without further ado, let's get stuck into it. So, okay, we are going to be talking about this. We're going to be talking about how to start a brand on social media. Now, my goodness, it can be long. However, bear with me and stick with me on this. When you start understanding these three particular key parts, and there's only three to just make sure that you understand, so don't worry. However, you've got to make sure that you continually do these things, right? And that's the only way that you can make sure that you build up your brand on social media. And really what I'm talking about is building up your brand awareness on social media. That's really, when we think about it, what we're talking about. So number one is understanding the idea of, did you know that your social media is actually a form of marketing, and it is one of the most freest tools that you could actually ever use, right? And number two is understanding that you've got to make sure that with this stuff, when you are putting your brand out there, you are understanding these three particular things. And the first thing, if you haven't guessed it already, you need to make sure that you go back and watch a whole bunch of my other videos to understand that this is one of the most key and important parts to anything that you do, especially when it comes to the likes of you and your brand. And it's equally one of the reasons why a lot of businesses fall flat with their brand, because they haven't addressed this particular part. When you don't address it, you're going to start running into walls. You're going to start hitting and hoping and throwing that everything at the social media wall, fingers crossed, let's hope something sticks kind of attitude will work for you. No, we're going to stop that. So at the end of the day, I don't know about you folks, but I want to make sure that I am making purposeful moves, and equally I want to make sure that you guys are making purposeful moves as well. So address your brand power of 3, your VPV, your vision, your purpose, and your values. Address that. Deep dive into what they are. Put some time and investment within that to make sure that, you know what, you're getting it to a point where it actually resonates wholeheartedly with you. And the reason why I say wholeheartedly, not half-assed, because I want to make sure that if you're believing in it, you're understanding it rather, you're going to have clarity about it. And when you understand it, believe it, and equally have clarity about it, the message, what you're talking about, the way you speak about your brand, you literally stand all the more taller for it, right? Because you get it. And when you get it, your audience gets it. And equally, when you start knowing what you should be known for, what it is that you want to be known for, and there's a video that I have about that, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. The idea of what you want to be known for will equally get shared within any message that you're putting out there, because you've understood what your VPV is, right? So that's key and important. The other number 2 thing that you literally start, I guess, showing up purposefully, right? In the different spaces on social media. Number 1, you've got to pick out which actual platform do you want to focus on. Don't try and focus on every single one at once. Don't do that to yourself. You're going to burn out. Don't do it. But eventually you're going to get to yourself to a point where you can actually start having that omnipresence to be able to go across all platforms. But literally think about the idea of repurposing. That's just a little insider tip that I'm giving you right there, right now. There we go. But what I want to lead on to is the idea of consistency. Now, this part, a lot of people fight with it, and I'm holding my hand up because I've also fought with it, and at times I still do. However, understand that literally social media respects the idea of consistency, okay? Especially when it comes to the likes of you and your brand, your message, what it is that you're putting out there, why it is that you're actually putting out there, and equally how it is that you're going to be serving these people, serving the audience in the different little ways that you can do so, right? Be consistent in that. Be consistent in how you show up, whether it be via video, whether it be via a static post. Be consistent in whichever method you choose, because what will happen is the algorithm on social media will understand that, oh, I see Tom over there is understanding that, yep, they want to make sure that they hit these key points and they're talking about the specific subject. Cool, let me just push that a little bit more. And I see that they're showing up even more. Or I see Sally over there. Yeah, so she keeps showing up in this kind of a way at this time. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me push that up. No problem. I see a lot of people actually resonating with that specific topic. Let me throw her in the mix too, right? Essentially, that's what's happening, right? On the algorithm. I've just obviously given the algorithm a little bit of an accent and a little bit of an attitude right there, right? But essentially, that's what the algorithm is doing. It's picking out different key parts to understand where you're being consistent in, and then what they can actually throw to their audience themselves, right? What the algorithm can actually put out there to the rest of the people or the rest of their clients on those social media platforms. Because they want to make sure that their clients and their audience equally get good value. So if you're showing that, if you're representing that and equally consistently doing it, well then, yeah, you're going to start being able to boost your brand on social media. And more importantly, the awareness of your brand. So now, this third thing, I've spoken about it a lot before in my other videos. And it kind of, I guess, draws near to the idea of not only understanding your clarity, right? But more so, not even understanding just the alignment factor, but equally the congruency factor. And what I mean by congruency is the idea of, does it even sit well with you? Does it even, okay, let's use alignment. So does it even align with you, right? Because if it doesn't, and I say it as in your messaging that you're putting out there, your values, your vision, and your purpose, if none of that aligns with who you are and you're trying to show up on social media on these specific platforms, it's going to show. And it's going to show up in a way that you don't want that to show up, right? You want to make sure that you show up with the authenticity that you have within your business and your brand. You want to make sure that you're showing up in a way that literally resonates with all of your audience in a manner that they get. And they need to be able to get it so that they can get you, right? And I'm going to throw this last one in here. I said there were 3, there's actually 4. This part, not enough people do it. And because not enough people do it, well then, yeah, that's what happens when your brand will start losing the awareness of what it is that they do, right? Or what it is that you do and why it is that you do it. And that's simply the idea of celebrating yourself. Now, what do I mean by celebrating yourself? I'm not talking about boastfully showing off this, that, and the other, you know, look at what I've done, tra-la-la-la. No, what I am talking about is, yes, to a certain extent, actually, yes, you are showing off, but you're showing up or showing off with purpose. You're showing off with value. You're showing off with the idea of, do you know what? This is what I've actually achieved in a short space of time, or this is what I've achieved in a long space of time, whatever that time period may be. This is what I've achieved. This is what I went through to do it, but equally, this is what or how it's actually made me feel. And this or how is what I've done with that accolade, with that level of credibility. And it is doing that. It's giving you additional credibility. So when you start celebrating you, when you start talking yourself up, when you start showing yourself up consistently, when you start resonating with the idea of what your VPV is, yeah, things start happening for you on social media. Your brand starts being made aware of, right? And you start branding yourself on social media. So that's how it happens. It happens through consistency. It happens through the idea of your VPV. It happens through the idea of congruency, and it happens through the idea of celebrating you. So folks, I really hope that that message resonated with you, and equally go ahead and like and share this particular video with all who you feel needs to start celebrating themselves even more so. And before you do that, make sure you go ahead and download this super cool principle guide that will allow you to understand 6 key ways that you can start elevating within your own brand, and to make sure that you are taking yourself to the heights that you want to take it, especially by boosting your visibility, the awareness of your brand, and yeah, the many ways that you can just start doing so, especially on social media. So go ahead and click on the link that's in the description box below. As I said before, make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel and hit that little ding bell so you do not miss out on any videos that I go ahead and upload. So folks, that is it, and I will see you on the other side.